as the dominant species of life on Earth would be extinct within a year.
The cry, give me television and hamburgers, but don't bother me with the responsibilities of liberty.
Johnny, is the world just heading for disaster? Is it going to fall in a heap, Johnny? Well, I don't know, but we've been hearing this sort of bloody stuff for years. Yeah, that bloody decades. Oh, we can't go on. This can't go on. Well, yeah, that's true. This financial bloody situation can't last. It's going to crash. Terrible things are going to happen. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we're all in so much personal debt that it's all going to bloody come down around our ears. But nothing seems to happen. Yeah, life seems to go on and just gets fixed up. Look at 2008. Oh, 2008. Oh, jeez. It was supposed to be an unmitigated fucking disaster. But I don't know whether it's been that big a disaster at all. Life just went on. Are you saying that it's all just bullshit? That everything's going to be okay? Money itself is just an abstract idea anyway, Johnny. It's all just made up. The US has been printing fucking billions of dollars a week for years.
In 1972, researchers at MIT concluded that society was on track to collapse by the year 2040. A follow-up study conducted by an analyst at KPMG found that we are ahead of schedule.
Holy shit!
Advanced human civilizations have existed for, at best, 10,000 years. In that time, many great empires rose from nothing and returned to nothing, leaving behind little more than artifacts and crumbling architecture. The determining factors tend to fall into four broad categories: political issues, social and cultural issues, environmental issues, and of course the one that we're specifically interested in, economic issues. Any civilization that has been reduced to little more than an entry into a textbook fell through some combination of these four factors.
And you get blokes like this guy.
Now, the US dollar has been seen as a safe haven, right? It's been record highs lately, but what happens when it's not safe any longer? We're about to find out, so just watch. It's happening right now. Bob Moriarty says the debt-based economy in the United States is collapsing.
You need to have cash, you need to have food, you need to keep your car fueled, you need to talk to your children, okay? The banking system is going to fail. The credit card system is going to fail, and you need to sit and think about it and say, what do I do to protect my family, my children, my neighborhood? Because that time is not only coming, it's coming very, very quickly.
And this sort of bloody comment.
What are the attack vectors today? So food, we're running out of food. Per the UN, I think it's 860 million people could starve to death in the next 24 months.
Well, you look at what's happening in Sri Lanka today.
Yeah.
You know, and there's rioting going on and all this because it's corruption. I mean, basic corruption is what it is, but they're starving.
Yeah, they're starving.
And the Ukraine is going to starve a lot of people.
They're starving and they have no energy. Sri Lanka has the best ESG score in the world.
Another financial crisis is brewing in China, but the world knows very little about it. As we speak, a boycott campaign is underway in at least 86 Chinese cities. Thousands of home buyers have stopped paying their EMIs because they say they've not got their homes.
Well, it is just money after all.
Significantly to record lows against the dollar. We had bond prices falling very significantly and threatening a financial collapse, particularly for the pension industry in the UK. And we had yields going up to levels which we hadn't seen for a very long period of time, which threatened really the entire interest rate structure of the UK.
Days have been some of the worst in the history for Chinese stock markets. The markets are volatile today as investors are concerned about a lack of supportive policies from the Communist Party Congress.
You know, and all you guys who are you're planning on renting your property, people won't be able to afford the rents. That's what it means.
Welcome back. Australians are facing the worst hit to their super funds since the global financial crisis, as we feel shockwaves at home from rising interest rates in the US.
So how safe is the financial system within China?
Well,
I said, take it easy, baby, I worked all day and my feet feel just like lead.
yeah, the governments, it seems, can just pull a few tricks, pull a few levers and all that sort of bloody stuff and reset all the financial stuff again, and we'll just continue going on. Johnny, are you saying that bloody governments, especially the US government, can do some sort of sleight of hand with all the bloody debts and everything and make it all just bloody go away?
So just how bad is this debt? Well, Peter Schiff says, at the rate the national debt and interest rates are rising before the decade ends, interest on the national debt will exceed 100% of federal tax revenue. The entire federal government would then consist of the Treasury Department, which would then just collect taxes and pay interest. Wow. Now, Silvershares disagrees and says, hey, that's a bit bleak and unrealistic, Peter. I think that what they will do is simply inflate the debt down to a manageable level while reducing everyone's standard of living except for the very rich, who will find ways to game the system and even get richer. Okay, so in this scenario, only the rich survive because that's how it always goes. So maybe it's not as bleak as Peter is making it out to be based on the data, but the way that Silvershares paints it, well, no one's going to survive and only the rich will. Okay, so it's all bad.
I remember when it was bloody going to be a disaster that the US was going to be $1 trillion in debt. Yeah, $1 trillion. Now Australia's $1 trillion in debt and US is fucking Christ knows what, and it's all just continuing on. Oh, Jesus, I don't know about that one. And then we got the threat of it's going to be a nuclear holocaust. The world. The world's going to fall to bloody Islam and all sorts of bloody bullshit. And it all just seems to just come and go in a cycle and everything just goes along.
China is still heavily reliant on hard-working cheap labour to prop up its economy. Without it, the domestic market it's worked so hard to cultivate will collapse very quickly, and perhaps it already is.
Johnny, are you saying that the government... Johnny, are you saying you can't raise the debt ceiling? They said the debt ceiling... we can't borrow any more than that, and they just keep raising the debt ceiling, these countries, Australia and US and everybody else it seems, and they just keep borrowing from who we don't know, but everything just keeps rolling along. But Johnny, you just can't bloody change the financial... that's all going to be doomsday and all sorts of Christ knows what. But somehow or another, everything just keeps going on. It's a bit of a bloody mystery to me. Or these people are just bloody naysayers, doomsdayers, and they're shitting themselves because they're the ones that are going to lose a lot of money.
Accuracy. Other critics point out that this study has a very pessimistic way of dealing with human innovation. These critics conceded that, yeah, sure, right now our rate of innovation might not be sufficient to avoid this kind of collapse, but necessity is the mother of invention. As soon as humanity's back is against the proverbial wall, a lot more attention will be placed on researching and investing into technologies that could push us from the doomsday scenario of the business as usual model into the more palatable, comprehensive technology scenario. We can already start to see this taking place with a huge surge in renewable technologies becoming available in the public market. Certainly, there are still some areas where we are lacking, waste management being a huge one, but we are much better than we were even a decade ago.
You ask poor old Joe Blow down the bloody street if he's worried about whether the fucking US financial market crashes, he'd probably say, what US financial market?